Grayzone Warfare dev team has held another live stream. This time they had the lead on performance and optimization, Johnny, sit down and talk to us all about his efforts in making the game run great for the community. Based off the comments on my last video, I believe a lot of you will be happy about the things said in this live stream. And honestly, I think a big chunk of you is also going to be a little bit upset. But without any further delay, let's get right into this developer live stream recap. There were two parts to this live stream. First was with Johnny talking about performance and optimization, and then second part was with Marek again, and that part was more focused on quality of life features that are coming with Winds of War. In this video, in order not to make it too long, I'm only going to focus on the first part of the dev live stream, talking about the optimization and performance bit, and I'll probably make another video coming either soon after this one or tomorrow, talking about all the stuff they spoke when it comes to the quality of life features with Marek in the latter part of the stream. Like I said, they had the tech director on, Johnny Clark, to talk us through the performance and optimization work. Johnny oversees the whole programming department that works on Grayzone. He oversees it all and everyone in that part of development. Johnny previously worked on games starting in Ubisoft, and then just before he moved to Grayzone Warfare, he worked for Bohemia and he worked on Vigor. I'm sure many of you DayZ fans or Arma fans are very much aware of that game. Now, as Vigor was getting close to the end of its lifespan, that is when Marek basically yoinked him away from that team and got him to work on Grayzone Warfare. So they started going over what optimization actually is and what challenges there are in that field. They said that the biggest challenge for Grayzone Warfare when it comes to optimization is the scale of the game. It's a multiplayer open world game, which makes that the #1 problem in optimization. It's just the scale is so large. They also touched on working in Unreal Engine 5, said that artists love it because of how good Unreal Engine 5 is when it comes to the art side of creating games, the looks, using and placing assets. But for programmers, he said it can be a much different ballpark. A game like Grayzone Warfare gives problems, like I said, due to the scale and Unreal Engine 5 still being, you know, an engine that is in active development with its kinks every now and then. So yeah, it can cause some headaches to work with, especially on the programming side. He also said that he works extremely close with the QA team to tackle all the problems efficiently and as soon as possible, and to get them all snuffed out before it even goes into the hands of the players. The next topic was their tech called Scala. Now, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm just copying Johnny's pronunciation of it. You see, the guys behind that tech worked for Madfinger at the start, but they later decided to make the tech their own and be able to license their tech out. So I guess they separated from Madfinger and became their own tech company. Now, when it comes to Madfinger and Grayzone Warfare, Scala allows them to do things they wouldn't be able to do otherwise with just Unreal Engine. Like the fact they can have an open world map and have almost infinite vision. What basically that means is they can render things like trees and vegetation at extremely far away distances for the players to see with great visual clarity. When you are on top of a mountain and you look as far as you can and you can see all the vegetation rendered in beautifully, all the grass to bushes, it's all there, right? While in other games, if you do that, you'll just see a bold texture of the terrain that is supposed to look like grass and trees not rendering in and stuff like that. I'm sure many of you have experienced and saw that in video games in their lifetime. So not only you can see those things really far away thanks to Scala, you can also see it with great visual clarity. And another example could be when you scope in and you look really far away, and like I said, all you can see is a bold texture that is supposed to represent grass, while in Grayzone Warfare, when you do that, you will see the grass fully rendered in, beautiful, just like it's supposed to be, and that is all thanks to Scala. They also wanted to specifically underline that it's not like some people would like to say, and unlike what a lot of the people in the community seem to think, and also unlike many other games, and by many I mean like 99% probably, the Grayzone Warfare team is actually consistently focused on pushing out optimizations constantly consistently with every single patch due to the scale and technical demand of their game.
We focus on optimization all the time, right? Like people want me to say, oh no, we don't optimize ever, and then we just do it at the end. And this is true for most games, but because of the scale we have to pay attention to optimization constantly, right? We have to look at the performance of the game constantly, and not just like how fast is it rendering, because this is just one facet of it, but we also have we need to keep a constant look at servers also, and how fast things are running on the server.
So do not worry, it's not like they are trying to milk the optimization patches for a major patch and are not doing it as they go. They are aware and they are constantly trying to push things out to make the gameplay better for you. They spoke about things like rubber banding they had at launch, how they tested and pinpointed the issues needed to be worked on when it comes to that, how they fix it, and how rubber banding doesn't happen pretty much at all. I would personally say, when it comes to me, I haven't experienced any rubber banding at all ever since I got back to the game. They had people worried about some of the Winds of War stuff, so they touched on the dead bodies. Some people were worried that that will be a huge hit to the game, with all of the dead bodies staying and persisting on the map and decaying and stuff like that. So they wanted to reassure the player base that these bodies, even though they will persist for a very long time with the upcoming update, it all works in a way that is not performance costly at all. They of course touched on the weather system coming with Winds of War. Me and a lot of other people in the community have had concerns when it came to the weather coming in, because let's be honest, a weather system that looks that freaking good is not going to be cheap when it comes to the performance cost. It can't be, because like holy hell, we've seen it. It looks amazing. I'm not gonna glaze it again, but goddamn sexual rain, right? They are aware that it will further impact performance. Of course they are aware. The answer they gave was basically they are doing extremely aggressive optimization for that patch, with not just the weather system coming in, but they're touching upon every aspect of the game to decrease its cost and make sure that when the weather does come in, it does not brick the game. The next thing they addressed is something that I say a bunch privately, because otherwise I'd get people with pitchforks coming after me. But they addressed the people demanding decent optimization for pretty much like a new gen game, I would say, for their decade-old potatoes. I mean for their toaster. I mean computers. They hear you completely. They are working on it and are going to bring better performance to lower end machines. Probably won't come with 03 Winds of War, and he might get in trouble for even mentioning that they are going to try get computers that are a little bit on the older side be capable of running the game decently. They are aware of it. They want to achieve that. They hear you. Hopefully they can get it done. Now, that was pretty much the end of that segment. I have to say, I was a little disappointed in this live stream, but only because it wasn't what I expected, not because of what they said or what they went through. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be when I originally saw the announcement. They spoke more about what optimization is and how they monitor the game, the tools they use, and not so much of reassuring the player that it's going to get significantly better anytime soon. Saying that, I myself have no issues with performance, but I know from my last video and the comments that a bunch of you made that for a bunch of you, the blocker to playing this game has basically been performance. Throughout the live stream, they basically said they did a lot of improvements between launch and now, which I think is extremely obvious, right? They have done a great job optimizing and improving performance between now and then, but when it comes to the future, it seems like things can still get a bit shaky down the line before they get significantly better, which is very normal. The game is in active development. They are pushing huge chunks of content and visual improvements like the weather system, and expecting that to come out, run well, and also improve the game's overall performance is unfortunately extremely unrealistic. You just can't expect them to add things like an extremely beautiful weather system and expect it to come out, running smoothly and also improving the game. It's not possible. Originally, I just hoped to hear them talk about some guaranteed performance improvements coming in future patches, I guess. Their focus on it for Winds of War maybe, or that there was some sort of major patch coming that was just fully locked in on optimization and like nothing more. I don't know. As I'm saying all of this, I kind of don't know what I really expected to hear in this live stream. Overall, I am happy that they are very much grinding in the optimization and consistently working towards making the game run and feel better. But I don't know. It's not even for myself, honestly, because like I said, I don't have problems with the performance from the game. It's just from all the comments I got in my last video, I kind of wish for you guys, they kind of like threw you a little bone, but we're gonna have to wait a little bit before performance gets much better, and those of you that still pretty much can't run the game will probably have to wait a little while longer. Saying that, if you're one of the people that tried it at launch and hasn't tried it since and is still complaining about optimization and performance, please, I beg you, try the game, see how it runs now. It might be night and day from your previous experience. And if it is, I'd love to hear about it. The final bit was a very short Q&A. I think there was like 4 questions because all the questions weren't really performance related or for Johnny. It was more for other members of the dev team and different aspect of the game development. They did answer a question on FSR 4. FSR 4 is coming to the game. They can't promise when it's going to be added. They are trying to get it pushed in for 0.3, which is Winds of War, but it's not guaranteed. They also are adding or already added, I'm not exactly sure on that, DLS 4. DLS 4 is already available, but through like the NVIDIA app or whatever. I'm not an NVIDIA user, so pardon me. But they are adding it directly into the game settings, so you can toggle it, use it from there. Now, this is probably the biggest questions for you guys that clicked on this video. Somebody asked if they can expect a big jump in performance for Winds of War, and Johnny unfortunately said no. The goal is to make the patch work as well as it is right now and have equal performance to what it is right now. They really don't expect any significant gains in the performance. The goal is just to keep the bottom line there, if that makes sense. Another person asked about CPU heat, which is funny because I had people talking about toasty CPUs in my comments when it comes to the game. And they basically said that if your CPU is getting toasty, it's because they use it correctly.
Why Spectre 13 plays says, why is my CPU always stupid hot?
Because we know how to use it. If you use a CPU correctly, it's going to be hot, right? Because the more if the CPU is not hot, it means that the CPU is not calculating as much as it can. So and essentially optimizing can also be that you will be able to use all the cores that the CPU has to offer in a more optimal way. And actually, thanks to Scala, we are able to use the CPU cores quite well, right?
Somebody asked about controller support. They said they don't know. And then for the end, I will give you some last words from Johnny.
Update looks great. We will do a hell of a job on the performance as much as we can. And yeah, I hope nothing will come and spoil, like my number one goal with, my position. Let's go back to your first question. I just want the game to be a technical success. I don't want the tech to hold back anything that the designers are thinking about.
That will be the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful. And if you do and would like to see more coverage of Grayzone Warfare from me, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing. It helps my channel out tremendously and motivates me to keep pushing and making videos. And make sure to leave me comments on your thoughts and opinions when it comes to this video or the dev livestream, Grayzone Warfare and its performance, and your hopes for the future when it comes to optimization. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
君の虜になってしまえばきっとこの夏は充実